It go up, we don't play around. I won't play by my dinero. Got some gangsters in the cut now, and they doing what I said so.
Good morning, precious. One. How you doing, baby? Happy Thursday. And today on Coffee and Conversation with your girl, Shakenya. When you get a minute, go to that YouTube channel, Shakenya, and hit subscribe, guys. Look at some of the videos, and if you see any of them that you like, please just hit share, please. And I'm moving like this, y'all, because I got one of the videos playing over here, so all of it can be angled towards me, so I'm kind of dancing, so Facebook can see me, so Instagram can see me, so TikTok can see me. And y'all, holiday season coming up, and y'all know I am one of the ambassadors for the Allure Wrist Design, yes, and I think if I wasn't an ambassador, I probably still would wear it, yep. So, hey, Lori, how you doing, boo? So, y'all, this is one of the bracelets that they have. I know, y'all got to check it out. Yeah, I know Movado. I take me a little Movado on, you know, but the Allure, it's a black-owned company, guys. They sell jewelry, they sell clothes and everything. So I tag it on my Facebook, but if you don't get a tag or see a tag, it's ELUR Wrist Design. Black-owned company, went to school with that brother. I promote all the products. They sell jewelry, they sell watches, they sell things for men and women. They have a film collection for women. They sell clothes, they sell shoes, and I wear all of it. So y'all, today, we're going to recap from yesterday. Just a little bit. Because we're talking about the manipulation tips from your 9th grade year, how they've evolved. We talk about the psychological damage, and we talk about the adverse effect that it causes over time. Yeah, when you keep doing it, you don't let up. Every time you look up, you harassing that baby about what they mama and they daddy's doing. You interrogating that baby to get them to turn over evidence about this parent so that you can use it in this evil, twisted plan to bring them down, right? So we're talking about all the manipulation tips that possibly could have been used in my case for it to be as severe as it is, meaning no communication, no contact. And that's strange for a mother and a daughter. Yeah, it's very strange for a mother and a daughter, right? Especially when there's no abuse or neglect. Yeah. Love my children to death. I am in love with my babies. Yes, in love with my babies, in tune with my babies. In tune with them so much so to where sometimes it feels like telepathy or something. It feels like we have a connection, meaning I can be thinking about them and they'll call me, right? I can be cooking something for the day. My daughter might have been cooking the same thing. I might have been in the grocery store at the same time she was at the, you know what I'm saying? We're linked like that. My key, I was looking for something the other day. I want to say my phones. I was about to do Coffee and Conversation, and I only had one phone. And I'm sitting in the truck, and I'm like, damn. And the moment that I thought about where they are, and I left them on the counter, my son called, like, Ma, you know you left your phones. I'm like, oh, I know, so it's we're linked, and so I'm quite sure the baby has the same connection. So you got to understand what type of mental torment she might be going through, wanting to talk to me, wanting to call me, and feeling like she can't, right? That's that psychological damage that they cause when they use all these manipulation tips. So we talked about the last manipulation tip was them making the difference out of the children. When you have kids by different partners and you guys fall out or whatever, and one of the reasons why is they always make a difference in the children is if their child is more better than the other children, and they sever the relationships. They make it seem like, yeah, you can't do that. At some point, there got to be some equality there, even if it's just the fact that they share the same parent. You know what I mean? It got to be some neutral ground there when you have kids by other people. It got to be a way for you guys to get along in this blended family type situation. It got to be a way to where everybody is in conjunction with and on the same page and in unity when it comes to raising these kids. That's what the village is. That's what the village is made up of, right? So we're going to recap yesterday. It's election. Go get your snacks. I know I should have told you it was a lecture day. So piggybacking from yesterday a little bit, I talked about the things that I have done or did for my children in raising them, right? And I'm not saying it to brag or toot my own horn or even make them look bad. I simply give y'all a story of what has happened in my life to cause it to be the way that it is. And I hope that you pay attention and take heed to some of the things that happened, some of the things I did or didn't do. And I hope you make better choices for the sake of your family and your kids. Because this situation right here, if somebody did it as a joke and a ha-ha at me, has devastated my family so to where it's going to be generational curses started at this point that's going to carry on. And I don't even know, I won't even be here to witness it. And it'll carry on just that far, just from him removing her. That has never been done in the history of my family. I have never known any of my cousins to be removed from their mothers or the dad to take. I don't even know nobody where that has happened to them. To where they was doing what they were supposed to do, and the dad actually manipulated the daughter to turn her against to where she is. We don't see her. She got great aunts on my side of the family that she ain't called and talked to. She got cousins. She has a cousin and they only 4 days apart. Do you know what type of relationship, if everything was to be natural, what type of relationship they would have, meaning they only 4 days apart? Do you know how close they should be? Do you know they actually shared the same talent? They both knew how to draw. When you look at my little cousin's pictures now, I swear they need to be in a magazine or in some type of animation type situation, right? But I remember when she first told me that she wanted to draw, and I remember when my daughter first wanted to draw, and I took both of them for a birthday present to an art store and picked out the basic sketch pad, markers, and pencils just to get them started. I wonder who's picking that up since she hasn't been around me. Who's picking up that creativity side of her? Who's stimulating that creativity side of her? Who's encouraging her to draw? Who's encouraging her to get into that as a field? Who's taking it a step further because she was really good? And if she continued to do it just like my little cousin did, I'm quite sure her artwork will be just as good as that, right? Think about the things they could have shared. And my little cousin is such a sweet young lady. Oh my God, I would love for her to have grown up with her. Sweet young lady, good young lady, precious young lady, right? Somebody that they both could have been good. Man, oh my God. But that stops when you remove that child out that parent's life. You don't just take that child out the parent's life. You remove that child from a whole family. A whole family. A whole family, and that child is only left to rely on you and your family, right? The cruddy people, the grimy people, the people that lie, the people that use manipulation tips, right? So we're going to get back into that tomorrow, and we're going to talk about when you make a difference out of the lifestyle, make it seem like your life is better than the other ones. But today, we're going to piggyback off of yesterday. So, talk about the things that I did, right? But I don't come on here to brag or toot my own horn. Nope. I come on here to educate because everything that I did for my kids, that worked. The system I put in place worked. Yeah. She only not in my life because of the adult that I raised my children to love and respect challenged me. So if you got an adult that challenges you, that goes against what you say, that believes the complete opposite, whatever the notion may be, it's a challenge now. Now everything is questionable. Because if I was doing what I was supposed to do, why would he challenge? Why would he question? Everybody would have been going on and doing what they've been doing, and everything would have been just as it was, which was fine. You got to keep in mind, when I tell you I had the perfect world 6 years ago, it wasn't that we didn't have issues. It wasn't that we didn't have problems. It was the way we handled our issues and the way that we handled our problems. And we did it together as a family. Right? And we didn't have a lot of struggles. We didn't have a lot of issues. I didn't have problems out of my children. I had isolated incidents. So whatever perfection is to you, that's you. But in my world, everything was going according to plan. Everybody was where they were supposed to be. Everybody was progressing in the manner that they should. And we were good as a family unit. Yeah, it was no need for interference. It was no need for removal of anyone. It was no need for seeds to be planted. It was no need for anybody's mind to be altered. It was no need for none of it. And that's the reason why so many people have mental disorders and they find themselves sitting on the couch, because a lot of the things that goes on in their life, a lot of it either could have been prevented or a lot of it was purposely done, right, for destruction, right? So, yeah, so yesterday we talked about that. So because of everything that I did work, having structure and a routine with all my kids, you would be surprised how much of a part that plays in their growth and development in their adult life, right? Like my children get up at the crack of dawn instantly, like no problems whatsoever, right? Because and I think that has a lot to do with the structure and routine that especially the boys, that I invoked when they were little, right? So yeah, I would say that children going to bed at the same time every night and waking up. So if you have kids that go to wake up every morning, they crying, they whining, so now you fussing and they moving slow, and that's because they up all night. They up all night on that game. They up all night on their phone. They up all night where they should be in the bed. They should be asleep. My kids' bedtime was 9 o'clock, and you may or may not agree with me, but 9 o'clock was a good time for you to have done everything that you had to do for the day, your chores, play with your friends, whatever. But you got to get some sleep, because you got to get the proper rest that's needed for you to get up in the morning and be able to go to school and be able to function. And adults need that as well. I usually go to bed at 9 o'clock. Right? So my structure and routine is still instilled in me, to where I still get up at the crack of dawn every day, as if I'm about to get up and take some kids to school and cook breakfast and all that good stuff, right? So it worked, going to bed at the same time, doing things a certain way consistently. You'll be surprised how far that goes and what it instills, right? Fixing Jesus. Yeah, so all that whining, they're not groggy, they get enough sleep that they need. Having an open line of communication with my kids. You'll be surprised how far that go. When I used to set up the safe space for the boys and when I had everyday conversations with the girls, it takes a lot of fear out of communicating with others. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that time that you're talking to your babies, that gave me time to correct them, right? When they're going through something, that gives me time to help them identify what they're feeling, identify their emotions, right? So they'll know how to deal with each one of them as they arise, right? Fixing Jesus. Fixing Jesus. My kids will never know how much I love them because of this incident. Not just the baby that's taken away, but the children that I still have contact with. They would never know the sacrifices. They would never know the work. They would never know the effort that I put into them. Just because of this little joke, little jokey joke, little prank, little, let me get you back because I can't get you no other way, right? Fix it, Jesus. Fix it, Jesus. So it takes the fear out of them being able to communicate with others, right? You'll be surprised how far that goes. Yeah, you'll be surprised how far that goes. Letting your child know that they can come and talk to you about anything, and there's no judgment, there's no fear, there's no, you know what I'm saying? They need that. They need that, and they should get it from you. They should get it from you. Yeah, so they're not looking for it in others, right? And then get disappointed and let down, and now they're building up walls now. Now they have trust issues. No, they gotta get that open line of communication and get it from you. Yep, and you help them build that up to where they're able to speak their mind out of that, right? When they're standing up for something that's you know, oh, fix it, Jesus. Fix it, Jesus, right? Problems. I'm trying to get through it because it's a lot. Yeah, so you got to keep in mind I'm in this situation because an adult challenged me. Yeah, took her out of our lives completely. Yeah, it's one thing to just, you know, have discord in your household or your kids get mad at you. Your kids gonna get mad at you. They're gonna tell you what they should be doing when they get mad. They go talk to the other sibling about you. Yeah, that's as far as it go though. They might call your sister, your brother, your aunt, they aunties, their uncles, you know, and talk about you or whatever. But it stays within the family, and it's not so much so to where they so mad at you to where they don't want nothing to do with you. That's not what's taught in our culture or to our people. So for it to be taught to my child, that's changing the trajectory of everything that we as a people ain't no telling how that's gonna stem off. How is that gonna affect her when she start having children of her own? Right? How would she want to be viewed by her kid? How is she going to treat her baby daddy or the father of her children as a result of how I was treated in the... Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. Yeah. So because I taught them to love and respect that man because he was her father, yeah, they viewed him a certain way. It would have been different. Remember how I talked to y'all in your 9th grade year about playing fair and fighting fair? It'd be different if we was beefed out, right? That way, every time you look up something happen, everybody would be able to brush it off because they know me and him at each other's throats and we beefing. So we know that that's a tactic. You using that to get back at me. You're going on with that stuff, right? But because I raised them to love and respect him as a man and as her father, he's looked at differently. So now he's looked at and everything he said is held more than a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Why? Because they were taught to love and respect him. So that means they got to hear what he say, right? They got to listen to him. He might have some type of, it might be some it might be something there because the baby ain't calling you, right? Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. Fix it. So all the systems I put in place were working. Yep. The cleaning company. Yep. Yep. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it, Jesus. Yep. I had a plan in place. Once we got those major contracts, we had a school in Inkster, we had a school in Westland, and I had the Birmingham Municipal Center. Yep. So the plan was to go in as a team, clean each building together so everybody would get the layout of the building. So if anybody needs to go and clean the other building or whatnot, you will be able to go in and you will know exactly what needs to be done. So that was the first couple months we did that. Then the next plan was inactive, and that was when we break off. So now we got 2 people in one building, 2 people in another building. At the same time, I'm still cleaning the municipal center because at this time I'm the only one cleared by the police, right? So now I clear my son. So now I got my son clear. So now he in the municipal center. Now I get my girl clear. So the goal was to get everybody clear so everybody would be able to go into that municipal center and clean. Just in case they're needed, right? So my daughters had a building to themselves. My son, my little brother had a building to himself. And my girl and my son had the municipal police station. So now I'm completely pulled out. So now the next phase was for me to get more business. Because now I got a team. Now I got people working, right? So right before all that happened, we ended up losing the contracts. You know, it was a subcontract. It was too many people with their hands in the pocket. So the next step for them would have been human resources, right? It would have been them hiring people to work their contract so they can pull out and won't have to. So the system was in place. The next step was for me to just get more contracts. And then this happened. Why would he pull her away from that? Fix it, Jesus. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it, Jesus. Yeah. So yeah, it was some issues there too. Let me tell you something. The men that was working there that I had to talk to, communicate with, have an open line of communication with. When I tell you, this was the first time, well no, the second time that I actually witnessed how men can be jealous of women. And I hate to spear off, and we're going to do a coffee and conversation one day talking about that because I didn't think it was possible because you're not supposed, I'm a girl, right? But when I tell you part of those contracts that I had to let go, a lot of it had to do with them viewing me a certain way and feeling as if I'm doing too much. And considering I've always done so much all my life, I know that feeling. I know how people look at me. I know the look when I see it. I get the feeling, the tension, the hair stand up on the back of my neck. And the look that he would give me when I pulled up in my Range Rover. The look I got from him the day I pulled up in my Range Rover and I had just aired on Channel 4. Fix it, Jesus. My Attitude Adjustment youth program that I had just talked to him about because I was trying to get a meeting with him so that I can introduce my youth program into their school system. That same day I mentioned to him, he seen me on the news. So imagine seeing me on the news looking glamorous and then seeing me pull up, still looking glamorous with my cleaning clothes on, with my children, jumping out of a Range Rover, happy. Hey, how you doing? How y'all doing? Oh, they hated me so bad. Oh, I felt it. His little butthole puckered every time he seen me pull up in that truck. I had the same car they had. Fix it, Jesus. Yeah, I didn't think it was possible, but yeah, man. So we're gonna do one about that. So trust me, I ain't even telling that I did paint and drywall. That would have took it over the top. Yeah, they would have had to hand them right over to me. They would have had to hand them right over. Yeah, that would have been too much. That would have been too much. Yeah, so they felt like I was doing too much in this show, right? So I bet you they was raised by just their moms. Yep, they probably did not have a dad in their life. I'm just saying. I don't know for sure, right? But I guarantee you the type of mindset and what I saw, if I had to, if I had to do a profile of some sort, I would say probably no father in the home. Probably was raised by a bitter mother. Probably was raised by a bitter mother. So if he was raised by a bitter mother, that means he was probably taught hate. So since he was taught hate, it shows in fix it, Jesus. But yeah, I can guarantee probably no dad. Subcontract, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. My daughters have a man. Yeah, so had to get more contracts, had to get them, so 2 of them. Because by that time, 2 people had got cars for working with me, right? They had saved up their little money and got them a car. My brother got a car, my girl had got them a car. So now they moving now, right? So all I had to do was get more contracts and they would have been able to move and get, get to where they need to go. So the team, I could have grew the team. So I'm just letting you know where we were when this happened. My daughters had bank accounts. Yeah. So remember that life class? So now I'm teaching money management, right? So they got debit cards now. They got money. They can see their money. They looking at bank statements. They know where their money going. They saving. Yeah, because the money they was making when they was cleaning, they was getting paid. Fix it, Jesus. So I'm not bragging when I talk to you about what I've done with the children. I'm just giving you an ideal so you will know how much was taken away from that baby when she was ripped out and pulled away. So whatever you thought about me, however way you felt about me, however way you viewed me, I'm telling you firsthand. And not only am I telling you firsthand, but I go live now. I go live a lot. So that you can see what I'm doing firsthand. So I can't be lying about too much if you seeing it for yourself, right? Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. So when I tell you I did these things, I did. Need you to see how much was taken away from that baby, right? When I was taken away. See how when you remove a child from a loving parent and there's no abuse or neglect, it only caused the child checked out, come or see you still mad because they cheated. Yeah, like when there's no abuse or neglect, you can't use the fact that you still mad at that baby mama or that baby daddy. Yeah. You can't use the fact that the child support check didn't come as a way to keep that baby away from that other parent. You can't use because they slept with somebody else and you hadn't gotten over that. You still hurt by it. You can't use that as a reason to keep that baby away from that parent. You can't use the fact of, oh, excuse me, fix it, baby. Like, he wouldn't answer some of the texts when I would ask him about the baby, but he would send me inappropriate texts, right? So I'm quite sure that made him mad, the fact that I didn't take him up on any of his advances. I know, we're not together and he married. Why is you texting me inappropriate stuff, right? So, yeah, but you can't use that as a reason to turn my baby against me because I don't want to sleep with you no more. I don't want to sleep with you no more because I don't like you. I don't like you because you cheated on me when we was married. I don't like the way you treated me when we was married. And you married now. Like, no, I don't like you, right? But you can't use that as a reason to keep the baby away or use manipulation tips and turn that baby on the other parent. That's personal. Yeah, that's all the stuff that you got to do. You can't use the fact that this person is doing better without you as a reason. You can't use the fact that they done moved on and they're happy in their current relationship. Yep, what y'all had was toxic, but what they have is healthy. You can't use that as a reason to keep that baby away from a loving family. You can't do that, right? So that's stuff that you got to deal with on your own. You got to find closure. You got to find closure, and you got to be able to move on, and that's separate from parenting. You got to be able to do both, now that y'all not together, period. So, moved on. Find closure. Not reason to keep a child away from a loving parent. If you doing that, you wrong as hell. Yeah. And you abusing that baby. And you depriving that baby of something that you will never be able to give them. Yeah. Because a mama can only do what a mama can do, a daddy can do what a daddy can do. Everything else, yeah, y'all are responsible for raising that baby. That baby's supposed to take from one of y'all, both of y'all. So if it's only one that's given, the baby losing out somewhere and in different areas. I told y'all it was a long one today. Yep, y'all should be the best of friends. Yep, there's no reason why my family should be out of her life. Yep, none whatsoever. I have a decent family. Yep, probably similar to yours. Yep, it is what it is. Probably no different from his. So why is a choice needed to be made? Why is anybody got to be isolated or segregated? Like, what's the why? Why? Right? So, fix it, Jesus. Yep. I took from both sides. I have both sides of my family in my life. I was raised with a village on both sides. Yep. Period. When I got my brothers and I wasn't getting any assistance from the state, both sides stepped up. Both aunties on both sides of the family gave me food. They gave me money. They gave me clothes. My cousins pitched in. People pitched in and don't even know that they pitched in to help me raise them boys. Right? It's like I thank them for things that they've done, but it's people that has given one gift that I thank them for, but the gift kept on giving. You know what I mean? I was able to do so many things. It served so many purposes to where I could never, ever thank them for everything that they did when I was raising these boys. But that's the family that I came from, right? That's what he took her from. She had a village on both sides of the family. Why would you take a child from that? Why would you deprive a child from that? Why would you do it, right? And the lengths that you got to go and the things that you got to do it. Do you know how much he would have had to do to take her out? Oh my God. And this happened over time. Because remember, we shared her for 15 and a half years. So that's 15 and a half years of damage. 15 and a half years of manipulation tips. 15 and a half years of me pouring into her and them pouring into her as well. Right? I know our morals and values should have been alike. They should have been on the same page with a lot. We should have been on the same page with a lot of stuff. Fix it, Jesus. Yep, and they stood up when I went through the divorce. Yep, my family stood up. They don't even know in so many ways they stood up when I was going through the divorce with him. So when I tell you to remove a child from that, it's abuse. That's why I set up like a crime scene. That's why I got to set up like a case. That's why we have our boards for 9th grade year. We have our suspects on the wall. We have the manipulation tips that I'm illustrating to y'all on how they work. That's why we're talking about mental health. That's why I just gave y'all all the disorders that can come about from you using these manipulation tips on your children and how it affects them when they become adults and why they need help, why they need therapy now as a result of you doing this, right? I'm trying to get through it, y'all. I'm trying to get through it. She was taking, so I often wonder what's not being taught. Because for 15 and a half years of me teaching the classes that I tell you all your children should know, by me not being in her life for the last 5.5, I wonder who's picking up the slack and who stepped in to fill my shoes and who's teaching all the classes that I was teaching. I know when you remove from your child everything that you was instilling in that baby sometimes just stops. All the knowledge that you're supposed to be instilling, everything you're supposed to be teaching them sometimes just stops. Because nobody can fill those shoes. Nobody can teach them what you was teaching. A lot of times they don't even know. They don't know what you was doing because y'all didn't talk about it. Y'all didn't talk about what y'all was doing with the baby. Yeah, I didn't talk to my baby daddy. I wish I would have, but I thought he just knew the plan because Plan A was created while I was married. So I didn't feel like I needed to talk. Things that, just understood need not to be. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't think I was battling anybody. I didn't think I was fighting with anybody. It didn't seem like a tug of war. I was just doing my plan. And it was working. Right? So the class is taught. So I wonder who's teaching her home ec how to cook and clean. That's very important for a young lady to know how to cook and clean. I don't care how you want to look at it. How you want to. That is very important for a young lady to know how to cook and clean. A young lady needs to know to keep her bathroom and her kitchen clean. And she needs to know how to cook. She needs to know how to run a household. So I wonder who's teaching her that, right? Because I used to get on her over there, so I know they wasn't on her about cleaning up her room, right? They used to eat a lot of processed food, so he know how to cook, but I don't know if he's had the patience to teach her how to cook, right? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Because I know it was an issue with her washing dishes. I know the stepmom had an issue with telling her to wash dishes one day. And I kind of gave her, you know, I had to get in her butt and let her know, when you over here, this is your mom. Yeah, so whatever she tells you to do, yeah, that stepmom, that's a bonus mom. You got a bonus mom. You got an extra mom. So if she tell you to do something, you are to do it, right? Do you know that grandma across the street would tell her she ain't got to listen to that stepmama? Fix it, Jesus. Contradicting any and everything that I'm teaching, for one. Second of all, you overstepping your boundaries. That's why it's important sometimes to create boundaries with grandparents. Yeah, you don't overstep. It's whatever the parents say. If you're not a grandparent that's solely raising the kids because your children are passed on or incarcerated or mentally incapacitated and they're not able to take care of the kids, so you stepped up and you're the parent, that's a given. But when you have grandchildren and their parents are in their lives, you check with their parent. Before you do anything, before you say anything, before you feed them anything, you check in with the parent to make sure. That grandmama used to act like she was too good and it was too much for her to call me and ask me anything. I couldn't stand that old lady, and I hated that I had to share my kids, Fix It Jesus, with them. I hated that. I hated that I thought that my daughter would get that mean spirit from that grandma. That grandma was so mean and bitter. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. She would tell her that. So now you putting in this girl's head that she don't have to listen to nobody. She don't have to listen to her mom, her bonus mom, and she don't have to listen to her mama. Because at the end of the day, I'm the one that said it's okay to discipline her and make her do what you need her to do in that house. The grandma. Oh, that evil bitch, I swear to God. Fix It Jesus is a Christian show. I'm trying to get through it. Trying to get through it. Yep. Get to know people before you have kids with them and get married to them, y'all. Just get to know people. Get to know their family. Because if I would have known the horror, I probably wouldn't. When he proposed to me at Receiver Hospital in the lobby in front of everybody, oh my God, I would have said no. I would have said no. Hell no. No. I would have thought of different languages on how to say no. Oh my God. So that life class, yep. I was teaching credit. I was teaching home ownership, entrepreneurship, money management. Yep. I don't know how much of this was taught. Yep. I don't know how much it was still being taught. I hadn't talked to her, so I don't know. I don't. And it's sad to say that. Yep. I know she had a business. I don't know none of them who has a business, so I don't know who's continuing to teach her about a business and how to maintain and keep a business. I know the bank account that I set up to teach her money management skills and how to manage her money and balance her they closed that account and opened her up another bank account. So I don't know their reason for doing that, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was their way of teaching her, but why close the one I opened, right? So she could have just had two accounts, right? Credit, I don't know, because I know in the marriage that was challenging for him. He couldn't understand the concept of credit, so I don't know if he's teaching her credit. Home ownership, he might know now, but he didn't in the marriage. It wasn't important, right? So I don't know how much of it is being taught. Let's see. So that's the life class. The ethics class, yeah, I don't think it's being taught. And that's doing what's right when nobody's looking. And that's because everything that was done behind my back, right? In my face, the baby was happy. Everybody was smiling in my face. But behind my back, they were talking about me, planting seeds, using manipulation tips. And I didn't find out until the end. Right? So all this was being done behind my back. So the betrayal, just all that, right? So ethics definitely is not being taught. So I don't think that class is being taught. The humanity class, treat people how you want to be treated. Yeah, I would never have done this to him. And I don't care how I feel about him personally. As a man, I don't like him. He did terrible things in the marriage. So yeah, as a man, I don't respect him. I don't like him. But as her father, I definitely wouldn't have never did this. Definitely wouldn't have never did this. Physical health, I don't think it's being taught. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. He couldn't eat corn and popcorn and stuff. It would cause some type of reaction to land him in the hospital. And he would do it anyway. I couldn't understand that. You can't eat it, but you eat it. So no discipline, for one, right? Just do. I don't know if that's being taught. And that side of the family, and not to throw shade on that side of the family, but a lot of the women that I did meet were thick. Oh, big. It didn't seem like health was like the first thing, right? They smoking cigarettes, they doing, so big, fat, obese, overweight, however way you want to call it, on that side of the family. So I don't think that's being taught. I don't think that's being taught. It's a good chance that she's probably heavy. Because if nobody's instilling discipline and nobody's telling you the importance of taking care of yourself and everybody's eating processed food and nobody's teaching you how to cook, I don't think that physical health class is being taught. Mental health, definitely I know is not being taught. That was frowned upon, right? And I'll tell you how I know this. When we were married, he would have these bad nightmares, right? And I asked the mom about him, and she acted like I was crazy. I don't know, that's just something that every now and then. No, he would have terrible fits in his sleep, Mom, right? So she tried to make me think I was crazy. So when the dad lived with me, when I was taking care of him, after he left us, Dad asked me, do he still have those nightmares? So that means this is the childhood trauma that he probably was experiencing, and you did not get it addressed as parents. Y'all didn't go see about this baby. There's no way I would have allowed my little brother was having issues with his behavior, and I looked for help, and when I couldn't find help, I created Attitude Adjustment Youth Program. There's no way I would have allowed him to have nightmares to her. Now he's suffering with him as an adult, and now I'm in his wife dealing with this, and you ain't even trying to help me. Fix it, Jesus. Moms, if you have a son and they get married, you don't lose a son, you gain a daughter. Okay? That woman never looked at me as her daughter. She always treated me and looked at me like I was the mistress. Like I took her man away. So I don't think that mental health class is taught. Religion, I don't know. Because we both was going to church off and on in the marriage. I don't know how often he went to church after the divorce because we didn't talk much. We didn't have a good relationship. I don't know. But I did take her to church. We went to church about as often as you see me go, right? Because I'm not going to be fake and say we went every Sunday, but y'all don't see me go to church. So that's how often we went as a family. Basically, me and my girls. We always went. Whenever one of my girlfriends would pastor at a church, we would go visit, right? Whenever one of her girlfriends would have like a dance recital, I think we went to go visit her church. Like, so yeah, they're not allergic to church. So the religion class, I don't know how much of that is still being taught. Street smarts, maybe, right? Not sure. Further in education, yes. Because his sister went to school. He went to school, although he didn't get a degree. I went to school, got my degree, right? So we both was teaching further in education. So I'm quite sure that's being taught. Even though I don't know nothing about how she doing in school. Like, I would love to get daily calls from her. Like my other kids. Like, I would like to talk to her every day like I talk to my other kids. I would like to ask her about her day. I would like for her to tell me how school is coming along. Is it everything that we talked about? Right? I would like to know how she is in her personal life, in her relationship. I would just love to have I had a connection with her. I had one. I did. His history, maybe. Maybe he talked about his side. I know when we were together, he didn't tell me much about his dad's side of the family. So I don't know how much of his history she knows. But I know I taught mine. I don't know. Politics, maybe. I don't know. So much is... Sorry, Facebook. Hey, Isaiah. Hey, Timmy. Hey, Robert. I know it's a long one, y'all. I'm about to wrap it up. I'm sorry for holding y'all so long. Because I got to get over there and work on that wall. Yeah, so the politics class, maybe, I'm not sure. Everything is questionable. But there's no doubt if I was still in her life, all this would be taught. There would be no question, right? Because all of these are goals for me. All of this is a mission. It's a plan to execute all of these classes because your child needs to know all of this just to prepare them for the real world. No matter what career they take, no matter what life goals they have, you have to prepare them for the real world. You can't have them just out there willy-nilly thinking everything is no, they have to know it's rough out there. Don't nobody owe you nothing. It's cutthroat. You gotta know what you know. All that you gotta put your kids on game. And teaching all these classes will do just that. Right? So I think that's it, y'all. Yep, that's it for Coffee and Conversation. I just want you to think about what you take away from your babies when you take that parent out their life. How much damage and destruction that you do. Make mental health be the focus, right? So, y'all, that's it. I'm out. Y'all, I might come back on because I'm about to do that wall on the other side. Remember I told y'all they was going to have me do that other wall? I knew it. Yep, I knew it. So I got to beat it down. And I have to rebuild it with the drywall. But I'll let y'all see. And then I'm supposed to go look at a house today. If I do, I'll take y'all with me. One of my partners, when I do work, I link up with the contractors, right? So when I have other jobs and they ask if I know somebody that can do this and do that, you know, I try to plug them in. So my boy George is a plumber. Damn, I wish I knew his number. I'm going to put his number in on the top part. My boy George. So it's one of his jobs. So he think of me. Yep, I try to link up with African-American contractors. I try to put my people on every chance I get. Yep, I got a big job. I try to share that money. I share that bread. Yep. All right, y'all, I'm out.